The Supply Chain and Channel Management Simulation is targeted toward advanced supply chain and channels courses at either the undergraduate or graduate level. Students form teams and become either microcomputer suppliers or resellers. The decision content includes the fundamentals of marketing, manufacturing, sales, finance and accounting, supply chain relationship development, and supply contract negotiation within an international business setting. The game is set for 6 quarters or decision rounds, with each round taking roughly 3 to 3.5 hours to complete. You will start a new firm which will enter into the microcomputer business. The suppliers and resellers will work together to introduce a new line of microcomputers into 12 international markets. Their goal will be to build profitable companies. In order to provide the seed capital, you will invest money in your firm by selling stock to yourselves. You, as the executive team, will invest $2 million in the first quarter and then another $2 million in the next 2 quarters. In quarter 4, you will receive an additional $4 million from venture capitalists. The balanced scorecard is the most important measure of your firm's total performance. It evaluates your performance in all of the areas of business to produce a total score. You will be able to watch your score throughout the exercise. As a reseller, you will focus on the marketing and distribution of microcomputers in a business-to-business environment. You will outsource production to other firms that specialize in manufacturing. There are 3 market segments that you will be able to serve in the PC market. Each segment has different needs and requires a different strategy to appeal to it. You will then develop a business relationship with 1 or more suppliers that you will outsource production of your products to. As you develop your marketing strategy, you will choose which segments to target. You will create an assortment of brands and decide on a pricing and advertising strategy. You will open sales offices and build a warehouse in one of several geographic regions. As a reseller, before you start making tactical decisions in marketing, you will need to analyze the initial market research data. You will need to review the customer needs for each segment, ranked in terms of their importance. Additional information will tell you how the customers will use their computers, what price they are willing to pay, and what the market potential is for each segment. After you have analyzed the market research, you will need to decide on your initial business strategy. You will select your primary and secondary target segments along with your other corporate objectives. You will develop a product for each of your target segments. Initially, you will have 2 basic design options to choose from for each segment. Later on, your engineering staff will develop new technology that will allow you to design better products and create more value for your target segments. You will review your customers' media preferences and then decide on the advertising frequency for each of your brands in different media. The next step will be to price your products. You may also offer a rebate to entice price-conscious customers. Entering a sales priority will tell your sales staff which brands should have the most emphasis when selling. After each quarter, you will receive detailed feedback about the quality of your marketing decisions. The brand judgment measures how much a market segment likes the design of each brand on a scale from 0 to 100. The price judgment will tell you how satisfied the customers were with the price of each brand on the market. The additional information that you receive with the results will include details about your competitors' demand, brand designs, prices, ad campaigns, sales office locations, sales force decisions, and a host of financial industry ratios. Your first decision in sales will be to specify which sales offices you wish to open. You will start with 1 or 2 offices and then expand in the future. Pay attention to both the setup cost and the lease cost associated with each location. You will hire salespeople for your sales offices. Be aware of the annual compensation for each salesperson in each city. You can also train some of your salespeople to focus on a specific segment or service support. The extra training cost is listed in the table. In addition to traditional sales offices, you may set up regional web centers, which will serve and support the customers who shop on the Internet. If you have a web center, you will need to decide how many sales and technical support personnel to hire for your web sales channel. There are tactics that you can deploy to increase the number of visitors to your website. Each of them has an associated setup cost. You will need to choose a quarterly budget and, in some cases, pay commission to business partners. More options will become available in later quarters. Similarly, you will need to deploy tactics that increase the probability that visitors to your website will buy while they are there. If you were a supplier, your focus is on achieving economical and reliable production of microcomputers. You will outsource your marketing and distribution activities to other firms that are responsible for the creation of market demand. You will need to consider how the reseller strategies that you choose to work with will affect your operations as a supplier. For example, taking on a wide variety of brands with different designs will create challenges for your production line. In each quarter, you will be able to invest resources to improve your production processes, lower your changeover and shipping costs, and increase factory efficiencies. As your business grows, you will expand your factory, invest in the manufacturing information system to streamline your distribution, perform a variety of studies to identify and address quality issues in your manufacturing process, and take actions to better serve your resellers. On the manufacturing side, you will first need to choose a plant location and specify its initial capacity in units per day. You will be able to increase this capacity in the future. Pay attention to the capital investment necessary for each increase in capacity. You will set your factory's operating capacity based on the number of units that have been contracted by the resellers. By setting the operation capacity, you can decide what portion of the plant's capacity to use. This will determine how many workers will be hired, how fast to run the production line, and how many units to produce each workday. The production schedule will be determined by how fast each brand is selling from your warehouse. You will control your production line by using a set of production rules. For each brand that you choose to produce for your resellers, you will set the maximum and minimum inventory levels, also known as target and replenishment points. When the inventory level reaches its target point, the production manager will stop production of that brand. If the inventory drops to or below the set minimum, you will begin to produce the brand again. The greater the variety of your brands, the greater the cost and time to make production line changeovers. You will be able to invest in R&D to improve changeover equipment, materials, or procedures. In addition to improving your changeover, you will be able to invest in a production control system. Your production line is initially set up with a simple manual control system. As a result, it can only make one changeover a day. As you go forward, you will need to invest in a more advanced production control system that will overcome this limitation and increase your ability to produce many different brands within a short period of time. You will need to pay attention to the reliability of your products. Low reliability gives your company a bad image and causes high warranty costs. You can implement quality inspection to prevent defective products from being shipped to the customer. However, to treat the root of the problem, you will need to improve the production processes. The first step in improving the quality of your production process is the variance study. The variance study will determine the extent to which components are manufactured outside of specified tolerances. You can then perform a source study to find the source of the production errors. The variance and source studies of the manufactured components will guide you as you determine which actions to take to improve the reliability of your production processes. You will also decide how much to invest in each action. As you enter negotiations with suppliers or resellers, you will be able to investigate the costs of various shipping options. To initiate the negotiation process, in each quarter, resellers will send contract proposals to suppliers. The proposal will contain the brands the resellers wish the supplier to produce, the quantity, the shipping preferences, and other details. Suppliers will review contracts that they have received from resellers. They will run factory projections and estimate their production costs. They will use this information to set a price per unit, which will be sent back in the contract to the resellers. The negotiation process will continue until both sides reach an agreement or the contract is rejected. You will be able to develop short-term and long-term relationships with business partners. With a short-term approach, the selection of a business partner might be based solely upon short-term profits. This type of relationship offers the promise of efficiency and minimum involvement. On the other hand, you can develop long-term relationships where individual contracts take on less importance than what can be accomplished across the supply chain over a period of time. These strategies take more effort, but can yield much greater returns than the short-term strategy. If you choose to develop a long-term relationship with one or more partners, you will be able to set up a supply chain management information system and an electronic data interchange. This will help you streamline your supply chain processes. Ultimately, you can establish a direct link system that bypasses the reseller's warehouse and ships products directly from the supplier to the customer. As you make your business decisions, the expenses or investments will be posted to the appropriate accounting ledger. Your cash flow statement, income statement, and balance sheet will be adjusted accordingly. You will be able to prepare financial projections for your company. These pro forma accounting statements will reflect all of your expenses and projected revenues during the current quarter. You will receive an industry financial ratios report to help you discover your firm's weaknesses and strengths. After each decision period, you will need to review the cash flow, income statement, balance sheet, and financial ratios. These statements allow you to watch your cash position, profits, debt, and assets. Throughout the exercise, you will receive an assortment of feedback information for your firm to review. You will find out how customers reacted to the reseller's marketing activities. You will see how successful each supplier was in securing contracts from the resellers and fulfilling their obligations. You will see how your decisions have affected your firm financially. You will also learn about your competitors' strategic and tactical decisions. You will receive the reseller's detailed market demand and market share reports for the resellers. You will also receive a detailed report on the supplier's demand and market shares. As a reseller, you can review the information about your demand, revenues and lost sales, cost of goods sold, and gross margin. A similar report will help you analyze the brand profitability. Suppliers will be able to review their sales, contract ratio fulfillment, order fulfillment, production costs, and gross margin. Suppliers will also receive detailed reports on their production cost and efficiencies. In the course of the exercise, you will continually analyze your results and improve your strategy and tactics. You will negotiate new contracts and build relationships with the goal of increasing your market share and profits. The decision content will be gradually expanded as the simulation progresses. After the last decision round, you will be presented with your final performance score. The score will be based on the cumulative balanced scorecard for your last 4 quarters.